What if one sentence could shake the Middle East, rattle global markets, and redraw the lines of power overnight? When Donald Trump declared, "No nukes for Iran," it wasn't just a statement. It was a warning to Tehran, a signal to America's allies, and a message to the world that the nuclear standoff is far from over. Tonight, we break down what this bold declaration really means, who stands to gain, who stands to lose, and whether this could push the region closer to diplomacy or dangerously closer to conflict. Welcome to USA Latest Update, your trusted source for breaking political news, powerful analysis, and the stories shaping America's future. From Capitol Hill decisions to major global developments, we bring you the facts, the context, and the impact, all in one place. If you want real updates without the noise, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's big story. Speaking with unmistakable confidence, Trump emphasized that preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons is not just an American priority, but a matter of global security. According to him, allowing Tehran to cross the nuclear threshold would destabilize the Middle East, threaten U.S. allies, and potentially spark a dangerous arms race in one of the most volatile regions in the world. The message was direct, firm, and clearly intended to signal strength both to domestic audiences and to international observers. This latest declaration comes at a time when concerns over Iran's nuclear program are once again dominating headlines. For years, Western governments have accused Tehran of enriching uranium beyond levels necessary for civilian energy purposes. Iran, on the other hand, insists that its nuclear activities are peaceful and meant for energy production and medical research. However, critics argue that the increasing enrichment levels and advanced centrifuge development raise serious red flags. Trump's position on Iran's nuclear ambitions is nothing new. During his presidency, he made the controversial decision to withdraw the United States from the landmark 2015 nuclear deal brokered under former President Barack Obama. That agreement, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, had placed limits on Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief. Trump repeatedly criticized the deal as weak and flawed, arguing that it failed to permanently block Iran's path to a bomb and did not address Tehran's missile program or regional influence. After withdrawing from the agreement, the Trump administration launched a maximum pressure campaign against Iran. This included severe economic sanctions targeting Iran's oil exports, banking sector, and key industries. The aim was to cripple Iran's economy and force its leadership back to the negotiating table under stricter conditions. The move was praised by some U.S. allies, particularly Israel and certain Gulf states, but criticized by others who feared it would escalate tensions rather than contain them. Now, with Trump once again speaking forcefully about Iran's nuclear ambitions, questions are emerging about what this stance could mean moving forward. Is this a signal of a return to hardline policies? Is it a warning shot intended to deter further nuclear advancement? Or is it part of a broader political strategy aimed at reinforcing his image as a tough negotiator on national security? The geopolitical stakes are enormous. If Iran were ever to successfully develop nuclear weapons capability, it could dramatically shift the balance of power in the Middle East. Countries such as Saudi Arabia have previously indicated they might pursue similar capabilities if Iran goes nuclear. That scenario could trigger a regional nuclear arms race, increasing the risk of miscalculation, conflict, or accidental escalation. Meanwhile, Israel has consistently maintained that it will not allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons, viewing such a development as an existential threat. Over the years, there have been reports of covert operations, cyber attacks, and targeted strikes aimed at slowing Iran's nuclear progress. Trump's reaffirmation aligns closely with Israel's long-standing security concerns and reinforces the shared position that prevention is critical. On the diplomatic front, Trump's remarks also complicate any ongoing or potential negotiations. European powers, including France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, have often advocated for keeping diplomatic channels open with Tehran. They argue that engagement, inspections, and negotiated limits are more effective than isolation alone. However, trust between Washington and Tehran remains deeply strained. Iranian officials have repeatedly stated that they will not negotiate under pressure or threats. From Tehran's perspective, the withdrawal from the nuclear deal undermined U.S. credibility and proved that agreements can be reversed with changing administrations. This distrust creates a difficult environment for any future diplomatic breakthroughs. At home, Trump's strong language on Iran resonates with many supporters who view his foreign policy approach as decisive and unapologetic. National security remains a powerful theme in American politics, and taking a firm stand against nuclear proliferation plays well among voters concerned about global instability. At the same time, critics argue that rhetoric alone is not a strategy and warn that escalating tensions could increase the risk of confrontation. Military analysts note that while the United States maintains overwhelming military superiority, any direct conflict with Iran would likely be complex and costly. Iran has developed asymmetric capabilities, including missile forces and regional proxy networks. A confrontation could extend beyond Iran's borders, affecting shipping lanes in the Persian Gulf, energy markets, and broader regional security. Energy markets are particularly sensitive to developments involving Iran. The country sits near critical maritime routes through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes. Even the perception of rising tensions can drive up global oil prices, affecting economies far beyond the Middle East. Trump's comments, therefore, carry implications not only for diplomacy and security, but also for global markets. Another key factor is the role of international watchdogs. Organizations responsible for monitoring nuclear programs have reported varying levels of compliance and non-compliance over the years. Inspections, transparency measures, and access to facilities remain crucial components of verifying Iran's activities. Any breakdown in cooperation with inspectors could further heighten concerns. Trump's reaffirmation that Iran must not obtain nuclear weapons ultimately sends a message that the issue remains unresolved and central to global politics. The debate is not simply about one country's capabilities, but about the broader principle of non-proliferation. The international community has long sought to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, recognizing the catastrophic potential of their use. The coming months could prove decisive. Diplomatic efforts may intensify, economic pressures could shift, and regional alliances may strengthen in response to evolving developments. Whether Trump's statement leads to renewed negotiations, heightened confrontation, or strategic recalibration remains to be seen. What is clear is that the issue of Iran's nuclear program continues to shape international relations in profound ways. Trump's firm declaration adds another layer to an already complex equation, reminding the world that the question of no nukes for Iran is far from settled. As global powers watch closely, the balance between deterrence, diplomacy, and stability hangs in a delicate equilibrium, with consequences that could resonate for years to come. Thank you for watching USA Latest Update. If you found this report informative and valuable, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to USA Latest Update for the latest political news and breaking updates from across America. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an important story. Stay informed, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next update.